Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Film is Okie Dokie. I'm CJ. I'm
I'm
joined.
Tommy.
There you go. And this is the show where we watch a movie and we say oak or no oak
Or Doke.
or no doke.
It's famously the podcast where we oak our dokes every other week.
Yes. How are you? How have you been?
I'm good. Well, wait, hold on. Wait. So you said it's the podcast where we watch a movie and we say whether it's oak or no doke, right? Or no
Yeah.
oak, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
oak
Now,
or no oak.
okay. So what if the movie is more pine?
Elm or no elm?
I'm good, CJ. How about you? How's your back doing?
Oh, I've been better.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about that old thing.
No?
It's gonna be a while longer. It's gonna be a while longer. But it's okay. How was your you went to a bachelor party recently, didn't you?
I did this past weekend. It's good. It was good. Went to the Upper Peninsula, which was nice. Just did a lot of chilling and hanging, and yeah. But more importantly, CJ, SDAT's been going on. This is mid SDAT update.
Yes.
We said in our last episode we'd check in, or because our last episode is coming out in like 3 days. Which is like during our most recent episode.
Oh, yeah.
Is coming out in like just 3 days in the throes of SDAT.
Mm-hmm.
So the post show of this is going to be after SDAT is fully wrapped. Midway through, how's SDAT going?
Oh, SDAT's going fantastic.
Good.
We're almost at $3,000. For those that don't know, SDAT is Speed Doxathon. Where we raise money for Save the Children. It is a 7-day charity marathon. And we've had some great runs so far. You're coming up. You're going to be in the second half.
Yeah, putting a stop to the great runs.
You're killing me, Small. Yeah, there's a lot of fun runs coming up, and there's a lot of hours of speed running left to do, and it's gonna be a fun time.
Good. Well, we're gonna check in the post show and talk about SDAT as a whole, since it'll be done by then.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
something important I wanted to bring up that we talked again a little bit about last episode, right near the end. CJ, with this episode, we've been releasing episodes for 52 weeks.
Wow.
And I don't know if you're a mathematician. That's a year.
Wow. Yeah, we did it.
We did it. How 1 year in? How are we feeling?
Looks like we made it. This should have been a Christmas episode then.
I mean, we can pause the releases. Release this as episode 25 and a half and say, we'll see you guys at Christmas.
There you go. Good. I'm enjoying this. Are you enjoying it? Is this good for you? Of
course. Oh, it's always good to have the communication to make sure we're all getting our rocks off.
Yeah,
it's good for me. Is it good for you? It's good for me. Is it good for you?
Yeah,
it's good for me. Is it good for you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly.
Let's take, before we get talking about the movie we're talking about today, let's take a brief moment to reflect on this past year.
You didn't tell me if it was good for you.
I told you I'm getting my rocks off.
Oh, okay, good.
We've watched 25, soon to be 26 films. CJ, what's been your favorite so far?
Movies that I had never seen, or just all together?
Both.
I think Midnight Run wins movies I hadn't seen before.
Okay. You're putting Midnight Run above 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 Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Wow. You're putting Midnight Run above The Batman?
Oh, The Batman.
Wow, you're putting The Batman above Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Wow. You're putting Jurassic Park and Batman above Heathers?
Ooh. Yeah. Batman's definitely above Heathers. But
Wow.
I think Heathers is number 2.
Damn. And to think that Heathers, you were like, yeah, I'm glad I had time to sit on it, because if we talked about it right after, I'm not sure I would have said much glowingly.
Yeah. That is what I said.
To think it's at near the top of the list.
Yeah, it had a lot of time to incubate. Let me think. Movies we've seen in general. What was my favorite? Gosh, The Searchers is just one of my favorite movies of all time. So probably still The Searchers. I was really happy I got to share that with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the old Tommy Ruski on that one. Watched that one twice. That was our first, but not our only Tommy Ruski, with you pulling it off in the Tropic Thunder.
I did.
What do you think is the worst movie we've watched?
Meet the Feebles.
Really?
I'm like, well, now I'm like double checking, but yeah, Meet the Feebles.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's surprising to me. I would have thought that you would have put like Wild Wild West lower than that, or
I think Wild Wild West is just dumb. I don't know. Like, yeah, like it's close. Like I think Wild Wild West is like second to last, but Feebles is last.
Wow. It surprises me, honestly.
Okay. What about you? What are your favorite and least favorite?
My favorite, definitely Meet the Feebles.
Wow.
Of those that I had not seen before, it's tough. It's really tough. Maybe The Big Lebowski. Muppet Christmas Carol is, what is kind of a classic in terms of just being a holiday classic. Like, I really like having watched that now and having that in like the back pocket as something to watch, something to watch at the holidays. But yeah, I think I might go with The Big Lebowski. Might be my favorite that I had not seen. But it's tight contention. It's tight contention. You know what it is. Number one, it's Armageddon. It's gotta be Armageddon.
Oh God, fuck off.
It's gotta be.
Why is it gotta be?
I had more fun watching Armageddon than most films in my life.
Okay.
Even if gave it a Noki Doki, I loved watching that movie. So goddamn fun. So for that experience alone, is it the best? No. Is it my favorite on this list? It might just have to be.
God. All right.
As for the worst, it's again tough. Wild Wild West I think is down there. But it's either Wild Wild West or That's My Boy, if I'm being honest. And it might be going to but Renaissance Man. Oh, talk about a race to the bottom.
Oh.
I think the thing about Renaissance Man is it good? No. Is it offensive to my sensibilities? No. The other two are offensive to my sensibilities in some way. So I think I might have to pick That's My Boy as the bottom so far. But a bottom tier movie that, again, like Armageddon, had a lot of fun watching.
Okay.
Armageddon will just forever be, when I watch Armageddon anytime, especially because it was my first experience, was us watching it together. Anytime I watch that movie, I'll just be thinking about our time watching that movie together and how much we laughed and just how ridiculous that movie is. So that's why it's got to be the top.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
Oh, wait, so
no, I'm not changing. No.
Armageddon. That's, you heard it here. We are completely re-rating Armageddon.
No.
To being emphatic yeses.
No.
And just like that, Armageddon is our first ever Goldie Dokie, where it's the only one film can hold the title, and it's permanent. And it's permanent. We have to get tattoos on our forearms that say Armageddon is my Goldie Dokie film.
No. I would be very interested in making a I'd be very interested, and I'd be happy to make it to make a official Film is Okie Dokie tier list. And we could like make ours, I don't know, release them somewhere.
Yeah, go ahead, make it. I'll fill that out.
Yeah.
I'll fill out that bad boy.
I am very interested to see how little overlap we have.
Well, how about this? One more question, just reflecting. What have been, what's been a favorite episode of yours to record this past year? Some change that we've been recording.
That's My Boy was like a fever dream. I laughed really hard. Recency bias, but Young Frankenstein was a great episode. Like, I think you said this as we were going off the air, or you said this to me off the air the other day, but legitimately, the last couple were just so much fun to record. Like, seriously, just so much fun. So not to be recency biased, The Searchers is probably one of my favorite episodes. And I think the Midnight Run episode. Yeah, there's a good handful of episodes in there. What about you?
I mean, again, Armageddon, so much fun with that episode. Also, the ones that you named, like the Young Frankenstein, Lost World, Jurassic Park, like you said, recency bias, but had so much fun recording those. Those episodes are very ingrained in my mind right now. Mm-hmm. I did really love the Batman episode because it was like almost 5 hours long.
That is in stark contrast to some of the episodes we've been doing lately. That was like the fuck all the rules. We're making this bitch. Yeah.
A lot of time went into editing that one. And then let's see, I don't know. They're also fun. The Searchers, I had a lot of fun because of how many notes we had and how many discussion points. It's been a good year of podcast releases, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think the podcast hemisphere is better off with the Film is Okie Dokie in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the Film is Okie Dokie, I actually had an Okie Dokie dream.
Whoa.
I know.
Hold on. Is this the first ever recorded dream relating to the Film is Okie Dokie?
It might be.
Well, tell us more about it.
I don't know. Have you dreamt about the podcast and didn't tell you anything?
Not that I remember.
All right. So the dream was that the podcast became very popular. This
sounds like a nightmare.
No. like it became so popular that it became so popular that it was lucrative enough for us to both put our day jobs on the back burner and do the podcast full time. And I know what that number is for me. And so in my brain, I estimated what that number was for you. So like we were making a good deal of like with big podcasts. But the way that we did it was that I moved to Chicago for the podcast, right? Because we were like, it'll sound better if we're in the same room, right?
Okay.
And then I was like, cool, let's go to let's go to the studio. And you're like, okay, so office space in Chicago is too expensive. We can't rent anything in or around Chicagoland. It's just too expensive. So we're renting a house. And I was like, okay. And so we drove like really far away and we rented a house. Like a townhouse. It's part of like a like like a multi-family home, like they get the left and we got the right. And then we go inside and it's like this little house. It's like all one floor, and like I was like, oh, we have like it's like a house. And then it's like this is my office, and you showed me like this really like the master bedroom with like a bathroom. And then I was like, cool, where's my office? And you showed me, like, the closet. And I was like, oh, well, I can't fit in there. And he's like, yeah, I bet you better get out of the closet. Honk, honk. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so then we had, like, our podcast set up, which was, like, the living room. And then we had, like, a really big, we had it set up so that it was, like, movie theater style seats. And like a projector setup for us. And then we recorded an episode. Do you want to know what the movie we watched in my dream was?
Okay. So let me try and suss out a guess here. Now, if it's a movie that comes up in your dream, that means it's gotta be a movie that has some sort of significance to you, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Either by way of memory associated with the podcast, or just it's a movie that is like really entrenched in your psyche. So I'm gonna guess that it's not a movie we've actually watched.
No.
So, how? Let me pull up Letterboxd real quick and try and just browse movies in general. I think that the movie, it had to have been Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It was, in fact, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh my God! Let's go! I could have picked any movie out of the millions!
That is phenomenal. Great job.
Easy!
Yeah, for you, it's very easy. I was in my dream. The logic was that you and I have seen that movie so many times, but we have, like, it's almost like our movie, but we've never done it for the podcast. And by seeing it so many times, we've seen it together in person twice.
Yeah.
Which is significant because we've hung out in person 3 times. Well, more than that, but on 3 separate calendars dates. Yes.
I think we just got to start watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou anytime we're in person together.
I think why fuck with it, right? We're doing good. No.
Yeah.
So that was the deal. So you had the very nice master bedroom with the ensuite bathroom. And I used the hallway bathroom, by the way.
I thought you were about to say you used the hallway, as in that's where you slept.
No. Well, hopefully I didn't live there.
Wait,
I,
so did I live there?
no, we rented that as our office.
So how come I was using the master bed and bath though, and
That
you
was
weren't
your
allowed?
office.
Oh. Oh, and where was your office then? If
The
not,
closet.
yours was just the closet?
Yeah, and then you said, "Oh, I guess you better get out of the closet."
It does sound like a joke I would make, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I just like had my laptop at like this like kitchen island.
Hold on. So the kitchen island was in the closet?
No, it was in the kitchen. I couldn't work in the closet, obviously.
You couldn't work in the office that was the closet. So you
The
relocated.
office that was assigned to me, no. But I gotta say, in my dream, Jade did a great job with the interior decorating.
Oh, good. Good.
Which
Wow.
is really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly important. It sets the atmosphere for our recording sessions.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why every time we sit down to record, I hang up a little picture on my wall to look at while we talk.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I always have my melon baller keychain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I never
Have you used it for any melon yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a pic of this. I'm not sure I believe it.
Any bald melon?
Yeah, with the keychain? I don't believe it.
All right. Next time I ball some melon, I'll make sure
Yeah,
to take
I better
lots of photos.
Frickin' better.
Okay. Speaking of melon balls, we are watching a great movie today.
Yep. I see the connection there. Melon balls to great movie.
Yep. We're watching The Quiet Man, which is, if like, this might be the greatest film that John Ford ever made.
I thought that was The Searchers.
It's that good. It's close. It's supposed to be very good.
Okay.
Anyway, so I don't even really want to go too deep into context or what it's about, but I will say basically the general premise is John Wayne is an American boxer that moves to Ireland. And that's the premise for the film.
Okay.
What do you know about this movie? Do you know anything?
I know nothing other than I think it deals with romance and comedy.
Oh, there you go.
That it came out in 1952, as we discussed last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by John Ford, starring John Wayne, and I'm pretty sure he's an American boxer who moves to Ireland.
Yes.
Okay. I think and I'm guessing he's pretty quiet. But that's just a guess. That's just me reasoning that out. So that's all I know. Before we move any further, CJ, what's, I guess, without talking the context of anything else about the film itself, what's your experience with this film? How many times have you seen it?
So
when did you first see it?
So I think that I've kind of talked about this aspect of growing up, but in my house, growing up, my dad had this really big collection of VHS tapes, and the majority of them were Westerns. And of those tapes, you know, a lot of them were John Wayne. I mean, I think we've done this exercise before where you name me a year and I name all the John Wayne films that he did in that year. I think we did that on the podcast even, but
yeah.
Like, my favorite color growing up was green, and the tape for The Quiet Man that we had was a green VHS tape, not the actual tape, but the box. And it like sparked my interest in it, as a kid, because you're just like, oh, this is different, this is a green box. It's my favorite color. And so that's sort of like an early memory. There is a set piece in here which is like the set piece for the film, and like the thing that like he set out, one of the big things he set out to do when he made the movie was he set out to do this like big scene. And it's, I don't want to say really well known, because I don't think a lot of people have heard of the movie in a casual sense, but it is a very, very popular film. It's a very, very well made film. And yeah. I picked this. I think that when I think about Young Frankenstein, I think about my mom, and when I think about this movie, I think about my dad. So I was just like, okay, well, I picked Young Frankenstein, so I'm gonna pick something that reminds me of my dad, and that's why I picked The Quiet Man.
Gotcha. So one for your mom, one for your dad.
Yeah,
Okay. Very cool. Well, before we get into the movie itself,
go ahead.
Did you want to make a prediction for how I'll like it? And I'll take my headphones off.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My headphones are removed.
So I don't. There will be a moment of contemplation, audience, as you're about to experience what may be not so casual racism towards the entire group of the Irish. In a very comical caricature type way. And I think it's going to be a little thick at times, but the other thing that's really, the film is just beautiful to boot. So I think that will come into play, and I think that Tommy is going to be able to see through some of the thicker elements that kind of come with this movie, like he was for The Searchers, and he's going to think that the film was okie doke. But it's going to take him a little bit.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. All right. Well, anything else for us to go over before getting into this?
No, I think we should dive in.
All right. Well, if you want to watch The Quiet Man 1952 with us, then check out the description for a link to the commentary track. And if not, just frickin' keep on listening. You can hear some clips from our listening, and then you'll hear the post show. But if you'd like to watch alongside us, then go ahead and pause this podcast right now. There's no way that match stayed lit for more than a quarter second at the speed this carriage is going.
Well, it's definitely not on a real horse and buggy, right?
What? I could have sworn that. What?
All right, everybody, welcome back. Or we're back from watching the movie.
Yeah, we are. CJ, it's been a week. How you been?
It has. Good. SDAT is over now.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how it went. I want to hear how you feel about it. I shot you a message earlier today asking how you felt it went overall, and then I got ghosted.
I know.
But I figured that this is a better time to ask anyway.
Today was my recovery day. So I do appreciate it. I was not very aware for most of today. Today was more of a, hey, I'm gonna sleep in kind of thing. I've never taken the day off of after SDAP before, so that was new as well. So, what's new? So for SDAT, we raised $6,734 for Save the Children, which is the second most we've ever raised.
Congrats. Can
In one
I ask
event.
what the first most was?
Yes. SStat 2021, we raised 7,280.
Whew.
And at SStat 2022, we raised 6,530. So we passed SStat 2022, which felt really good.
Nice.
Not that you have to one-up yourself every time, but you're just like, okay, it'd be great if we could,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. How do you feel the event as a whole went?
The runs were awesome. We had some really fun stuff. We did what did we call? We did we did Pyramid, the game show, which was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
We did we had Quo did a secret run. My friend Quo did Squirrel with a Gun, which was really funny. You did your run.
I did do my run.
Yeah, your run was great.
I mean, the run was great in that we had a lot of fun during it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You have some thoughts on how your run went?
Oh, it was probably the worst Fallout 4 run I've done in years.
Well, it's okay.
It was fun. It was fun. It was for the charity. It was to help, put on an exhibition. It was a good time.
Yeah. So it was good. No, I mean, we actually, shout out to Adventure Potato. He came up with this a poll that we're sending out to people. It's like an exit poll, and the idea is like, what do you value in a speed run event? Like, what kinds of runs do you like? Let me see if I can pull it up really quick because I thought it was really interesting. Okay. 6 appeals. So basically, this is rank what you value the most, how important you think they are to having an enjoyable speed run in a marathon setting. Okay. Number 1 is action. Runs focusing on excitement, quick movement, or destruction. Number 2 is social. Runs that have good commentary, competition, co-op, or chat involvement. 3 is mastery. Runs that showcase expert-level timing or clever strategies. Number 4 is achievement. Runs that focus on collecting items, doing several tasks, or powering up the player character. Number 5 is immersion. Runs that describe a game's story, interesting characters, and voice acting, or games that have a unique visual presentation or creativity. Runs that utilize clever tricks or routing that normal players may not think about, or runs that have a quirk to them. Example given, running Ocarina of Time on a Dance Dance Revolution dance pad. I said that creativity was the most important. I said that social having a lot of chat involvement was probably the next most important thing. I really like expert level showcases, that show a lot of stuff off. Then I went action, and then I went immersion, and then I went achievement. So that would be creativity and social being the 2 most important things for me in a marathon run. And I feel like we really capture that,
Mm-hmm.
It's very cozy, there's a lot of interaction. Some marathons do not want or encourage chat interaction. And for their events, it makes a lot of sense. But for me personally, it's like, nah, I want to rile up the crowd,
Yeah, you want to get the people going. You want it to be provocative.
Yeah, I want to be provocative. So, yeah, no, it was good. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I was a little out of it because I'm still recovering from my surgery, but we had a great staff and it was fun to do.
Well, awesome. Well, just in case any of our listeners might have been an SStat viewer and missed this poll, where could they find it?
Sure. So if you would like the poll, you can go into the Speed Docs Discord, and I believe they are posted. The viewer survey, the volunteer survey, and the runner survey are available. If you don't see them, you can ask anybody for them, and we will send them over.
Hey, CJ, could you send them over to me? Because I don't see them. Ah, here they are. Well, look at this. I'm going to have to fill this out later.
There are
Thank
two.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
There's two, and there's a runner. Look at. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to fill out the runner survey later too.
Yeah, they might be the same. Start with the runner survey.
No, they look a little different.
Okay.
Because this one says, what was the first Speed Docs marathon you watched? And this one says, what was the first Speed Docs marathon you ran in?
That's true. That's different.
Yeah, very different.
So yeah, I mean it's good. You know, it's really good. It is 7 days. It's a lot of energy, you know? But totally worth it, and I really love doing speedrun marathons. There's only one type of content I would rather make than doing speedrun marathons. This podcast is excluded from that list.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Eddie Burback's video where he went to every Margaritaville?
Yeah.
And every Rainforest Cafe?
Of course.
I would love to do that.
Yeah?
That's
To
the
what are you
only... Yeah.
To what? Every speedrun marathon?
No. That.
What?
I want to go to every
Rainforest Cafe?
Yeah. I think doing something like that where you just drive around the country doing something really stupid is really fun.
Are you going to do specifically one of those two things, or are you going to find a tangential thing to do?
I don't think there's that many Rainforest Cafes left.
I mean, there's still a good handful.
All right, over under. How many do you think there are?
Well, are you going to give me a number that I can say over or under to?
Well, I'm going to say 10. Are there more or less than 10 in the continental United States?
In the continental United States?
Yes.
More.
Okay.
I know for a fact there are more.
Okay, there are more than 10. Are there more than 12 and a half?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right. Are there more than 14 and a half?
I feel like yeah.
Okay. Are there more than 16 and a half?
Now I'm going to start saying no.
Okay, there are 15.
Man, am I good or what?
Yeah, this is why you're really good at Costco, I think.
Well, CJ, something you should keep in mind is I have every Rainforest Cafe location listed in my Twitch bio.
Do you?
Wow, what an attentive Twitch mod.
So there is one in California. There's one in Nevada. There's one in Arizona. There are 3 in Texas. 4 in Texas. There's 1 in Tennessee. There are 2 in Florida. There's 1 in New Jersey. Oh, this one's in Ontario, so there's only 14 in the U.S. This one's in Michigan. This one's in Illinois.
Wait. Go back a second. The one in Ontario, is that the one in Ontario, California?
No, it's in Canada.
Oh,
it is in Niagara Falls. So.
Yeah, well, there are 2 in Niagara Falls. There's one on the New York side, and there's one on the Ontario side.
It doesn't look like there are 2 anymore.
I was just there within the last year, and there were still 2.
I'm looking at their official website.
Oh shit! On their official website?
Yeah, not their unofficial website.
Which one? Which one did they close?
I think the one in New York.
They've closed the one on No Shot. No, I mean, I guess if
they
were going to close
on
one of, if they were going to close on one of the 2 sides, I guess that side would make more sense.
Apparently there are 2, and the website doesn't list the New York one.
See, I know when it comes to Rainforest Cafe, I know what I'm talking about.
Wow,
CJ.
That's insane. So yeah, there you go.
So you're going to do it with Rainforest Cafe? You're going to drive around to every single one?
I think that'd be really fun.
Well,
but
I would love to meet up with you when you're in the Illinois location.
First off, we are I'm going to visit you soonly because one of the stretch goals for SStat, if we cross $6,000, was that you were going to teach me how to ride a bike.
Yeah, which this is something that like I feel Jade and I have said multiple times. Like, CJ, we'll teach you.
Yes.
So
I don't know how it came up or why, but
I don't either. I just joined at one point, and that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, I'm so excited / gonna fall, but it's gonna be fun.
You're gonna do great. Jade and I were talking about it. We think you could learn in the span of a couple hours at most.
Yeah, I think an afternoon.
Yeah. You'll kill it. And then you're going to be like, well, now I got to get a bike at home. And then you're going to get a bike and you're going to ride around town, utilize those bike lanes.
There is a bike shop down the street from my house.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I don't know really much about bikes. Do people still have Huffy? Is that a brand?
I think that's still a brand. Yeah, I believe.
I know Schwinn.
All you got to do, go, maybe don't buy a brand new bike. Maybe just buy like a used one on Facebook Marketplace and just buy one that's tall enough for you.
Oh, there's different heights.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That's all the updates that I have about SStat. How are you? What have you been up to?
I'm good. Had a busy weekend. You know, it's Jade's birthday weekend. So busy celebrating that just between the two of us, then celebrating it with all of our friends, then celebrating it with her family, then celebrating with my family. So busy weekend, busy way to spend the Labor Day weekend. Did get some relaxing in. But I'm absolutely pumped because you know what time of year it is, CJ?
It is football time.
This is true, but not quite why I'm pumped.
It's college football time.
No. In fact, I would say I'm excited for professional football season, but not quite college football season. I'm not really a college football person.
You are excited about the Emmys.
No, but you're really circling the drain here. So I'm excited because CJ, and I have not cleared this by you at all. It's time for our next Okie Dokie competition.
We're doing another one?
We are. This year, the Film is Okie Dokie is running a movie fantasy league.
Movie fantasy league?
Yes.
When did this happen?
This is something that is ran by the website Vulture. Vulture.com every year at this time of year runs the Movie Fantasy League. This is the 5th season doing it. I've competed in a season or two in the past. What this is you'll be able, if you Google Vulture Movie Fantasy League, you'll be able to find it. You'll type in like your name and email address, and then you'll be able to type in a league to join. And you're going to type in the full name of our podcast with the spaces. The Film is Okie Dokie. That's the name of our league.
How do I join?
The same exact way I just said. You're going to go to Vulture.
Vulture.com.
Vulture. You can Google Vulture Movie Fantasy League. But let me talk a little bit about what this actually is. So the draft for this just opened the other day. You have 100 fake dollars to draft 8 films. The 8 films are all priced differently. So, like, I think the most expensive film this year is Wicked for Good. Mm-hmm. That costs like $45. But you have $100 to construct a team. And then once the season starts, which is at the end of September, it's actually September 25th, then you earn points based on things like your film's box office performance, any awards it might receive, how it's received critically. I'll break down the points a little bit more in a second, but that's more or less what this is. And I'm thinking we'll try and get as many people to sign up, and then the winner will earn a prize. No promises as to what the prize is yet. Now, say you're listening to this and it's after the September 25th deadline. Well, you can still enter. You can still join late, though you're at a bit of a disadvantage because I guess I should say right now, you're able to still draft movies that have already came out. You can draft like Sinners if you'd like. But if you draft a movie that's already released, then you won't earn any points for its box office or I believe even its critical performance, like how it, because like if a movie, say, scores in the range of 90 to 100 on Metacritic, you earn 100 points for that. If, say, it scores in the 0 to 19 range on Metacritic, you lose 5 points for that. So you won't be able to earn any points based on things that are an unknown before the film releases, like the box office or Metacritic. But you could still earn points based on the awards the film wins. So like I said, we can draft like Sinners right now. I could draft like The Bad Guys 2, which is already out. I could draft Superman, but I wouldn't earn any box office things for that. But if the September 25th window has passed, you can draft, but you will not be able to draft any films that are out at all. You can only draft unreleased things. So you will be limited in that, say you're like, I think Sinners is going to sweep the Oscars. Well, you won't be able to draft Sinners because it's already released and the draft deadline has passed. Does that all kind of make sense, CJ?
I agree. Yes.
Okay. So just to run through the general scoring, and this is all listed. You can find this all on Vulture's website if you need to double check. But the big broad strokes are you earn a point for every $1 million your film earns. You also get bonus points for when it clears specific milestones, like clearing 25, 50 mil, 75 mil, et cetera, et cetera. If your film reaches number 1 at domestic box office, it earns 20 points for every week spent at number 1. Like I talked about earlier, it gets points based on its critical response. So the higher it scores on Metacritic, the more points it will receive. And then there's also a ton of point opportunities based on awards. So it ranges anything from the Academy Awards to Gotham Awards to Critics' Choice Awards, Golden Globes, all the Screen Actor Guilds. You can view a breakdown of all of this on Vulture's website. Again, just Google Vulture Movie Fantasy League. And again, you can join the Movie Fantasy League for The Film Is Okie Dokie by typing in The Film Is Okie Dokie into your league spot. If you want to just join the Okie Dokie Discord server, and we'll be able to link you to it if you'd like. I'm sure I will also post scoring updates occasionally, just letting everyone know how they're doing, because once, everything begins, we will be able to like view the scores in our league at any point, and you can see what everyone else drafted and everyone like that. But yeah, I thought this would be a fun community thing that isn't just a once a year Oscar pool. This is a bit more ongoing, a bit more unwieldy, unpredictable. There's always surprise stuff. But yeah, come join the Film Is Okie Dokie Movie Fantasy League before the deadline passes.
Okay. So I'm on the site.
Mm-hmm.
Do I draft and then how do I join?
So let me see. I'm going to Google. Let me pull up an incognito.
I Googled.
Vulture Movie Fantasy League.
Yep.
So I see Vulture's Movie Fantasy League. I clicked on that. You have this spot for email, first name, last name, display name, and then league name, optional.
Got it.
That's where you're going to type the space film space is space okie space dokie, and make sure the spelling is right, because people spell okie dokie different. You got to spell it the official way of the podcast.
And then you pick.
And then you pick, and you have $100 to spend.
All right. Well, that's really exciting.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll give an occasional update on that, but I think our main update space for that will be the Discord server. When there is a winner, we will announce it. The winner won't be crowned until after the Oscars, though. That is when this ends. The final draft deadline is December 18th, and then the league ends with the Oscars. So we will have this ending alongside our Oscars pool, ending right around the same time, because we do plan to run our Oscars pool again. But this is a bit of a different type of competition that I thought would be really fun for us to do.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about this.
So make sure you go and join. We want to try and get as many people as we can in this. CJ, do you have any drafting ideas or advice or approaches you're going to take, or are you going to keep that all close to your chest?
Well, it does seem like Wicked for Good is the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
But that would really hamstrung you because that's half your budget.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's a very strong pick because I think it's going to make a lot of money. It's probably going to be nominated for many things, which you do get points for nominations in categories. So I think it's a strong pick, but like you said,
my only other thought, Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen feels like Oscar bait.
It does feel like Oscar bait. And that's why it's one of the more expensive films at like $25 or so.
It is $25.
So it's really tough. It's really tough. You got to find that balance. And like I kind of mentioned, like Sinners, you can draft Sinners, but because it's already out, you won't earn any points for its box office. You're picking it solely based on how you think it will do in terms of nominations and award wins.
And that's crazy that it's still $40.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
I mean, hey,
it's because
it's that fucking good of a movie.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I am going to bookmark this because I'm going to do this later.
Cool. And again, we will be sending a link to that on or in the Discord server. So please go join.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's all I had to bring to the table.
Is it time to talk about the movie?
Pre-post game. I think it might be time to talk about the movie.
All right. So, Tommy, what did you think about The Quiet Man?
I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. Okay. This is where we give our more general opinions, right?
We're working general to specific, yes.
Okay. I'm going to say my general thought about this movie, it's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay.
Okay.
I have a lot more thoughts and a lot more nuanced discussion takes on it, but I'm just gonna leave it out there. This is a pretty okay movie. Okay. How about you, CJ?
I think this movie is quite good.
Okay.
I do have this poster on the wall in my home. I think this is one of John Wayne's better acting performances. I made this joke to you. I made this joke to somebody else. I said, he's not this good. Like, I've shown you 2 of his better performances. He's not really this good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's another aspect to this. Because I was at a cocktail party recently, and the hostess said, I fucking hate John Wayne. And I was trying to talk to her about John Wayne films, and I'm like, yeah, no, I hate John Wayne too, and I was trying to talk about a movie of his, and she's like, no, I hate John Wayne. Like, and I was like, I didn't appreciate that at first, that it was, I hate John Wayne, and don't ever bring up John Wayne in my presence.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, sure. So, there is that element to this, right? But I think he has like 5 really good movies that are outside of himself, and I've shown you 2 of them.
Okay.
Like, where the material is so much better than he, the man, is.
Okay.
And because the rest of the time, he's just doing John Wayne.
Yeah. And I do really want to talk about John Wayne a bit more.
Okay.
Intently. Like, he definitely is going to be a talking point today.
Yes.
Go on.
So, And this is a John Ford film, and Ward Bond was in this, and John Ford has like a bunch of featured players that he has, right? And they appear in his movies all the time. We saw Charlie McCory, who
He is.
yes, he didn't really talk in this movie. I think he was uncredited at the time, because he doesn't speak. He just plays the accordion. But there are. How do I want to say this? I've watched a lot of movies from different time periods, and I think this movie stands out above a lot of the other movies of 1952. Now, I said that, now I'm going to look up the movies of 1952. High Noon, okay, probably not that. Singing in the Rain, probably not that. Okay. The Life of a Haru. Yeah, Quiet Man's pretty... the original Carrie? No. Different Carrie.
Definitely different Carrie. I don't know if Stephen King was probably a year or two old when 1952 came around.
Yeah. So there's like a few other movies, right? But I think Quiet Man is a really good thing. Really good example of a lot of different things. It's a very beautiful... The set pieces are whatever, but like they shot in Ireland for some of that, and some of that is really pretty. So yeah, that's my general thoughts.
Okay, well, I can't wait to dive a little more into that, and especially talk about the context of what this film is like when it released in 1952.
Yes.
But why don't we dive into recapping the film first and just kind of chatting about specific scenes as we go along?
Okay, so there are a handful of characters in this movie that you have to be acquainted with. John Wayne plays Sean Thornton, who is a American retired boxer. There's Maureen O'Hara, who plays Mary Kate Donaher. Her brother is the main antagonist in this film, and his name is Squire Red Will Donaher. Red is his nickname. Barry Fitzgerald plays Michaeline Ogie Flynn. And then the other two characters I think you really need to know because of their importance to the plot are Ward Bond plays Father Peter Lonergan.
I wish you were Peener. That would have made this movie a lot funnier.
Lonergan. And then there's Mildred Natwick, who plays Sarah Tulane, the widow Sarah Tulane. Okay. And that's the 6 people that are really, really important to the story, okay? There are other characters, and they might come up, but those are the 6 characters that are really, really important to, like, the story of the film, okay? So, it's set in the 1920s. Sean Thornton is a retired boxer who is from Pittsburgh, and he travels to Ireland. He's moving to Ireland. So he comes in on the train, and then he gets picked up from the train station by Michaeline.
Well, first, real quick question, because genuinely unsure. How far into this film are we, the audience, kind of revealed to that he was a boxer? Because I feel as though that's not something that isn't revealed until over the halfway point, unless it's just something mentioned in passing.
I don't know when it's revealed that he's a boxer.
I feel like, because I know in the pre-show you had mentioned that he was a boxer, and then kind of throughout the film I was waiting for them to talk about it, but it never really came up other than, there being something that John Wayne is, something from his past, and then we, not to get ahead of ourselves, but then we have that kind of flashback later briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the first time that it's actually revealed what his past is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not revealed for a bit. But second, you mentioned that he's picked up by Michaeline. I want to say first, he's actually greeted by like half the town. There's like half the town hang out at this train station waiting for Americans, waiting for Yanks to get off.
To tell them where the best fishing is and all this other stuff. Oh, I caught a trout as long as me forearm. Right? Like, they're all there hanging out, doing their thing. And Michaeline, like, just comes and picks up his bag and walks back to his little cart. By the way, he's probably my favorite part of the movie. He's really fun.
I would have to agree with you.
So, can we get something out of the way? They are doing over the top Irish caricatures for some of these characters.
Very over the top.
Yes. This is and I said this when you took your headset off, borderline racist offensive.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would not be surprised if people like who were born in Ireland hate this film.
I would
not be surprised.
I'd put a bigger stamp on it than that and say the idea that this is what Ireland was like 100 years ago might be insulting to people from Ireland. But yes.
Yeah.
So he gets there and he reveals very early on that he was actually born in what is the name of the town? I forget. God, what is the name of the town?
Innisfree?
Innisfree, yeah. So he reveals that he was born in Innisfree and that his parents were from there, and then Michaeline remembers him, and it's a whole thing. So then he's like, well, I don't have any place to stay, but I brought my sleeping bag. So not long after, he sees a redheaded woman named Mary Kate, and he instantly falls in love. He goes outside of the church that she goes to, and he dunks his hand in the holy water and offers it to her, which was really weird. And then she runs away on her bike, or runs away to her bike, and then like watches from behind a brick wall. So they refer to her as a spinster at this point. She's like, Maureen O'Hara at this point in time is like in her early 30s. I think John Wayne's in his like 50s.
Yeah.
But the house that John Wayne wants to buy this cottage. And the cottage is owned by Sarah Tulane, who is a widow. And he goes and he says he'd like to buy it because he was born there and that's where he would like to live. And she's like, no, I'm not interested. And then Red Donaher comes in and says, basically, you're going to sell it to me. And then I've been down at the pub telling everyone that you're going to sell it to me. And she's like, oh, have you now? And then she accepts Sean's bid, even though, like, Red wants to expand his land. This basically makes them neighbors.
Yeah.
And
the town of Innisfree in general, they really don't seem to like Red.
No. Red's this big, burly guy. He's physically big. He's as big as John Wayne, probably twice as wide.
He's bitter, man. He's a bitter human.
Angry. And he wants what he wants, and he's a loudmouth brute and all this other stuff. So, like, Red basically forswears Sean Thornton immediately and just like, I'm never going to deal with you ever again. So, it plays out that John Wayne goes to the house and he has to ask permission from her brother, Red Donaher, to date Mary Kate, to court Mary Kate. And Barry Fitzgerald, Michaeline, is the matchmaker. So Michaeline is with him all the time because he's the matchmaker. So he goes, and they ask, and he brings flowers and all this stuff. And, like, you know, Mary Kate's all excited. She's, like, getting ready to go. And he's like, no, I will never give you permission to date my sister. Like, get the fuck out of my house. And then John Wayne's like, okay, well, I don't need your permission. I need her permission. But she won't do it. She won't do it unless he gives permission because they have their own set of customs. And John Wayne doesn't understand. He's like, well, back in Pittsburgh, I'd honk the horn and the girl would come a running. And she's like, Mr. Thornton, I'm not the kind of girl to honk and come a running. And so she runs up the stairs all upset. And then he's pissed, right? Because he's like, why the fuck can't I, like, date your sister? There's also a scene before this where they're in the pub. This is a pretty famous scene where he goes to, like, whatever, and they're having drinks and everything. And, Red comes in, and they get into a pissing contest where they're squeezing each other's hands really tight. And that's when Sean basically wins over the whole town, and everyone is like, yeah, we don't like Will Donaher.
Mm.
So, the town residents, so Michaeline and Ward Bond, who plays the father, and a few other people, including the Protestant reverend, all get together and they trick Will Donaher into believing that the reason that Widow Tulane has never accepted his advances is because Mary Kate is still in the house. And so if he were to get rid of Mary Kate, that Widow Tulane would be much more favorable and they could go a-courting. Okay.
Real quick.
So, go ahead.
I do want to jump in and say, like, through this whole initial courting process, John Wayne
This is the pre-courting process.
The pre-courting, the attempting to court. Like, she and John Wayne, like, they exchange maybe like 3 words.
Yes.
We also
He's like,
have
I'm gonna marry her.
Yeah. We also have a scene where, like, she, he had just bought this cottage. He shows up. She's there cleaning it for him, even though they had never said a single word to each other. And, like, she tries to run. And before they even say a single word, he, like, grabs her by the waist and pulls her in and kisses her without, like, any consent. And then, the scene, it plays it off as okay because then by the end, she kisses him back. She's like, oh, no, she's actually interested. But, like, I just wanted to harp on briefly that they have very little interaction up to this point.
Yes.
Like, next to no interaction with each other.
And I want to I'm glad that you brought this up. Because do you remember how much sexual tension there was in the beginning of The Searchers between Ethan and his brother's wife?
Yeah.
And they don't say a word to each other?
Yes, so
Not
much
the case
written.
here.
No.
Not the case here.
It's honestly, because of it, I didn't feel as though I had much of an investment in their relationship because of how, like, they didn't even speak for 30 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't know each other. It's not like they knew each other when they were kids. He literally saw her and was like, oh, I'm marrying that woman. That one in particular. Like, he picked out a bike.
Yes, and it's presented to the audience in such a way that it's like, yeah, well, of course they're meant to be together. Of course they're going to get married. Of course he loves her. Like, that's the point of these types of movies. Like, it's kind of presented in that way. Yeah. It's just something you're supposed to kind of go along with and accept.
Mm-hmm. So they go a-courting, and Michaeline picks him up on the wagon, and he says, all right, sit on either side of the wagon. No patty fingers. Absolutely no patty fingers.
Wait. We skipped one of the biggest scenes in the film.
What we skip?
We skipped the horsey race.
Oh, so yes. So,
which,
in the process,
by the way, not a Western. This isn't a Western.
So they trick him, right? So they've already set the stage that the reason that he won't do it. So, by the way, John Wayne's pissed. He has this black horse that he runs all over the Irish countryside, hopping over like a brick wall every like 4 minutes. And
4
then
seconds,
they have
more like.
Yeah, they have like a fucking horse race on the beach. And all the girls put up their bonnets. And because of the ruse, because originally Mary-Kate doesn't want to put up her bonnet, because that's what you're supposed to grab when you win. So John Wayne wins the race in what is a really weird race, but they shot it in 1952, so I'll give them a break.
The really weird race with teleporting townspeople who all start behind them, and chase after them from the starting line.
In front of them, yeah.
In front of them a second later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's constant. These people are magic.
So they go through that, and at the end, he grabs Sarah Telane's bonnet. And that is enough to convince Will Danaher that if he doesn't let John Wayne marry his sister, John Wayne will instead marry Sarah Telane. So now he actually gives his permission. And he has the coins, and he puts the coins on the table, and all this stuff. And then it's revealed when he goes to announce that him and Sarah Telane are going to be courting each other, that they are not, that she doesn't know anything about this, and she thinks he's a big creep, and she would never be with him ever.
Mm-hmm.
Then he realizes he's been tricked. And so he says, fine.
This is at the wedding, by the way. This is revealed at the wedding, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that was the wedding.
Yeah, we go through the courting. CJ
the courting,
talked a little bit about
patty
the patty
fingers.
fingers. Yeah.
Yes. So at the wedding, he's like, cool, I'm going to announce my own engagement. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So then he goes, fine, I can't stop you from being married, but you're not getting your dowry. And this is basically the whole plot for the rest of the movie, is the dowry. So she has her furniture, which she owns, sitting in the parlor at her brother's house. And she is owed a part of her fortune, which I believe is 300 gold pieces or something, $300. And John Wayne's like, but we don't need your furniture. We don't need your I have all the money in the world. She's like, no, this is my dowry. I'm owed this. This is a representation of my personal value, and the dowry being released by my brother is me being free of him. So he's like, I don't understand what your fucking problem is. And so she's like, I'll do your cooking and I'll do your cleaning, but we are not married until I get my dowry. So she runs into the bedroom and locks the door. He kicks open the door and throws her on the bed and is like, fine, Mary-Kate, but there'll be no locks between us in this house. Right?
Yeah.
And so he broke the bed.
Yeah, breaks the bed when he throws her onto it.
Yes.
Now,
go ahead.
Real quick. Sorry, go ahead. Which is what?
It comes back as a joke later, but go ahead.
Okay. The night of the wedding, there is something else that happens, and this is when the whole boxing thing is revealed. It's when her brother Red throws all the dowry from the coins on the floor. John Wayne stands up to him,
and then he punches him in the face. Basically, knocks him out.
Red punches John Wayne,
and John Wayne won't fight him. Doesn't hit back, gets knocked down, won't fight. And because of this, Mary-Kate thinks that he's a coward, that he's afraid of her brother, that he isn't fighting because he's afraid of her brother. And so they sleep apart that night. He sleeps in the sleeping bag.
Again, sorry. Well,
you're really pissing me off at this point.
I feel like, so it's when he gets punched that we then get the flashback to why he doesn't fight back. We see the flashback to the last time he fought. He killed the dude he was in the ring with unintentionally. It's just something that happens in boxing, unfortunately, sometimes because it's a dangerous sport. Mm-hmm. And I really thought that this was a really great, cutaway effective, the effectiveness of this cutaway, just from how it was filmed. Yeah. Very ethereal compared to the rest of the film. It reminded me a lot of Raging Bull.
Yo, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, definitely get that. Get that vibe for sure. Okay. So now we know John Wayne won't fight because John Wayne, the last time that he fought, killed a man. So he wakes up in the sleeping bag, and she's like, "Please don't embarrass me in front of your friends." So he like hides the sleeping bag. The friends come in. The villagers, basically went to Will Donaher's house and bullied him into giving up Mary Kate's furniture. So, like, her piano and the tables and all the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't give up the money. And so he's like, okay, cool, we have the furniture. That's what you want. And she's like, no, I need the money. I need the money, too.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary Kate's now, like, really leaning into the coward thing. And they go into town. He buys her, like, a buggy with, like, a horse. And they go into town. And they get into a fight when they get into town because he's like, oh, he just sold a bunch of stock. He definitely has the money on him. Go over there right now and ask for it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to shame us. Like, and she's like, no, like, he has the money. Just go ask. It's my money. So then she leaves him in town, leaving him to walk back on his own.
The 5 miles.
The 5 miles, yes. So he goes to the Reverend, who basically figured out that he was a former boxer.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's name is Cyril Playfair. Because the Reverend actually used to box, and he's a big boxing aficionado, so he recognizes him as Trooper Sean Thornton. And Mary Kate goes to the river and finds Father Lonergan fishing, and she confesses to him in Irish Gaelic that she wouldn't sleep with him and that this is their fight and they're fighting over the dowry, and he berates her for being selfish. And then he goes in the river and he doesn't get the fish. That night, they both go home. John Wayne doesn't really tell her anything, but they go home. They kind of reconcile, and they share a bed for the first time. The joke that I had mentioned earlier was when they're bringing the furniture in, one of the pieces of furniture is like a bassinet for like a baby, like a little crib thing. And they have Michaeline bring it into the bedroom, who sees the bed broken. And he's like, oh, a toy. Like, he's just like, whatever. So the next morning, John Wayne gets up and he's like, oh, woman of the house. And she's gone. And outside, Michaeline is there, and he's like, she went to the train station. He goes, why'd she go there? And he's like, she's going to Dublin or whatever. And so he's like, so he rides his horse to the train station. The train, because the villagers from the beginning of the movie are like derailing, like basically delaying the train for 40 minutes. He's able to get to the train station before the train leaves. And he pulls her off the train and then literally drags her for stretches of it, but forces her to walk all 5 miles back to the Donaher farm, which is next door to his cottage.
And so he's just tossing her about this whole time.
Oh, yeah. Like, would have killed her.
Yeah, and there's the crowd is following them, and like they'll like run up real close, and then they all stand there like arms out, like crouched, like, oh, stay back before, oh, watch.
She lost her shoe at one point, and they like followed her with the shoe for like 5 minutes until they could give her the shoe back so she could keep walking.
At one point, an older woman runs up to him with a giant branch and hands it to him and says, here, hit her with this.
Yes. So he is like, okay, like, fuck it. So he drags her back to Will Donaher with basically everybody. They phoned ahead to the pub to tell him that they were coming, so that they could close the pub so everybody could follow. They follow them to the Danaher pub. he throws her back to her brother and says, no dowry, no marriage. And no fortune, no marriage. And so Will and Mary-Kate are both shocked in absolute disbelief. So then, Will takes the cash out of his pocket and throws it on the ground. John Wayne then takes it over to the boiler, or whatever, the furnace. Mary-Kate opens the door, and he throws the money in the fire. And then she says, basically all giddy, I'll have supper waiting for you when you get home. And he's like, great, thanks. So she kisses him and runs off all frolicky. And then Will takes a swing at Sean, but John Wayne finally hits him back, and they start this big, long fight, which is described as Homeric.
Multiple, not just that word is tossed around not just once in this film.
It's a giant Donnybrook. The entire town gets into it at one point. They toss water on each other. Like, the villagers are like, whatever, they basically agree to adhere to the Marquess of Queensberry rules, which is like boxing, and then they immediately break the rules.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's watching. Sean fighting Will is so much that even though the father's been trying to catch this one fish for 10 years, he sprints down the road to see if he can catch some of the fight.
Yeah, and the entire time, Michaeline is, like, taking bets from people.
Yes.
Like, bets the whole fight when people, like, oh, he gets knocked down. People are placing bets on him now. And, man,
yeah.
I can't even imagine how much of a headache it would be as a bookie to parse out all of those bets that were made.
Oh, yeah. So then, they fight clear all the way from their house to the pub, okay? They open the bar for a drink. And basically they're like, you're not so bad. If I didn't hate you, I'd have some respect for you. Whatever, blah, blah. And then they get into a pissing match on who's going to pay. And Will tosses they're drinking like a Guinness, basically.
Yeah.
And the guy tosses the Guinness in Sean's face, and he knocks him the fuck out, sends him through the bar doors unconscious in the street, which ends the fight. Then the movie cuts to later in the night where they walk home with each other, staggering, like drunk, back to Sean and Mary-Kate's house, where Mary-Kate is like excited and happy that they're getting along, and then she like fixes them dinner. And then the movie ends basically with Will and Sarah Tulane begin their own courtship. They ride out of the village on the side of a car driven by, a horse and buggy driven by Michaeline. No patty fingers. And then Sean and Mary-Kate are watching, and then they playfully chase each other back across the fields to the cottage. So that is the synopsis for The Quiet Man.
Yes. So, okay, let's talk a little bit more in depth. I guess the way I feel about this is I kind of middle out it okay. I think that they're watching this film through the lens of 2025. I don't think this is a very good movie. But trying to keep it in the context of when it came out, like this movie came out 7 years after Hitler died. Like, I try and like relate it to like where it is in history. This is 1952. And thinking of this and comparing it to other films from 1952, like I like Singing in the I haven't seen the actual full film of Singing in the Rain, but from what I've seen of it, I prefer that. Granted, a musical is a very different type of movie, but I prefer High Noon to this. But it's still like, you know, compared to everything else, like a lot of other things coming out at this time, this is very much of a higher pedigree. But there was just so much in this film that, like, there were things I like. I thought there was some decent humor. There were some parts I like. I really like some of the characters. Some of them are pretty charming. Micheline Michelina Low, Michelob Ultra, as we were calling him. I like, great performance. That dude's just really fun. There's a lot of things that I did enjoy that I think just like lighten it a little bit from the large amount of things that in this, I'm just like, this has not aged well at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest fight for me is like, the Searchers. It's not my difficulties with the Searchers weren't that it hadn't aged well. It was more my aversion to the genre, in addition to the context in which it was released and how it related to the other Westerns of the time. This, I just think so much of this movie, it's like, this is so backwards, like societally. Sure. I think is and like we are meant to we are meant as an audience to find enjoyment or see growth in characters in certain ways that I think are really backwards. Like John Wayne's character is this troubled man from the States. He has this background where he's sworn off fighting. Doesn't want to fight because the last time he accidentally took someone's life. And what does the movie culminate in? Well, he casts aside this, he embraces the violence, and he fights for his woman, who is treated like property in this film. And it's just like one of those things, like it feels like the character backslides, if anything.
Okay.
So a lot of things like that is where kind of what sours it for me.
So this is a 1952 movie based on a short story from 1933 depicting 1920s Ireland. So this is what I'm going to say, okay? I understand everything that you're saying, and for the most part, I agree that, yes, there are parts of this film, especially the way that I think his relationship with her is treated by everybody, basically, that is weird and uncomfortable. And to be sure, he also, at first, finds it weird and uncomfortable. Maybe not uncomfortable. He's not very accepting of their custom, right? She herself, the character in the film, is wanting of this dowry, which is a monetary payment for her marriage, right? Like her brother's paying to get rid of her. So, I always say you have to take things where they are from, right? Like, but also you can say, hey, listen, this part is not, like, obviously someone cutting a switch to beat his wife with later. No. Like, that's not a cultural thing anymore.
Right?
Like, yeah, exactly. Right? This is before women were allowed to have bank accounts without their husband's permission. This is before women could have credit cards. Like, in, like, America, I think that was, like, 1974. Right? This is, like, depicting a different time. So in the same way that a film about slavery doesn't bother me because slavery is bad, we all know slavery is bad, I guess my point is, I can look past that because I'm like, this is depicting a different time. Even if I disagree with the, like, yes, the way that they treat her is wrong and not cool and not fun in today's standards. And I feel like the language I'm using feels like it's downplaying how I feel about it, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Like,
I do.
My choice of words feel like it's not delivering.
I understand. It's a matter, like, the representation of a subject matter is not an endorsement of the subject matter.
Yeah. And I will say that the things that I really appreciate about this movie are not the things that make it feel out of date significantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess I just want to say, like, you know, kind of just countering to that. Like, I agree, like, it is representing a very different time. I do feel as though a lot of the way the things are played, though, are for the audience's enjoyment. Like, we're supposed to get a laugh out of the fact that he's like, hey, beat your wife, you know? And like a lot of those moments of like him dragging her or throwing her on the wedding night, or a lot of the things around how she's more or less a piece of property of her brother's that he has to sign away.
Yeah.
A lot of like the social interactions around these things are played lightheartedly. And it's not to say, like, if you're going to have these things that aren't acceptable by today's standards, if you're going to have those in your films to accurately portray the era, you've got to deride and denounce the things that are uncouth today. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to. You can just portray things how they were, though it does feel as though this is more on the line of, like, it's still something to be celebrated and laughed at.
No, for sure.
Kind of similar.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, kind of similar to how in The Searchers, like, for the most part, I feel it does a decent job at portraying the Comanches as people with their own things going on, but ultimately there are a handful of things in there that still just reduces them to evil red man to our white hero.
And we talk about
hero
it in that episode.
Yeah.
But there was only so far that movie could go in 1956. You know, like it couldn't go all the way.
Yeah.
If that movie was made today, it would go all the way. You know, it would probably have a different ending. I want to touch base on this. I agree, and this goes back to the Irish stereotype, because the drunk Irishman that beats his wife is a negative Irish stereotype, and I feel like you said it. It was played for a laugh. A lot of this stuff was played for a laugh. That's just what they were doing. Like, we can't separate the obvious negative Irish caricatures from the rest of it, right? We can't subterfuge it out. It all exists in one place. You know, at one point, Micheline, who's sworn to ensure their courtship doesn't go any faster or farther than it's supposed to, his horse takes him to the pub and he gets drunk instead of doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and the horse takes him to the pub because the horse is so used to taking him there. Like, he just knows it's in the horse's routine.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just some stuff that you can't separate out. And so for my analysis of it, I choose to just accept this is the movie as it is. Right? It contains things I don't like. Now, you said this a few times. We, the audience are expected to blank. But I would counter and say that this was the audience it was made for in 1952.
It's a shame I'm not watching it in 1952.
No,
then.
But I'm saying, like the audience is allowed to evolve.
Yeah.
And it was not made for us.
Yeah.
Nobody made movies at the time thinking in, 70 years that two people were going to have a podcast talking about if the film was problematic. So, like, taste change, cultures change. Like, this is the movie as it exists. Now talk about it. That's where I start and stand. And in that space, it gives me plenty of room to say, yes, this is wrong. I don't like this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. But this is the art form in its most honest interpretation that it exists now. This is what America made. This is what they made. That deemed this picture worthy of preservation in the Library of Congress. You know, it's what won John Ford an Academy Award for Best Director, which was his 4th one, and it won Winton Hawk the award for Best Cinematography, right?
Right. And I do want to talk about the cinematography. That's a subject matter entirely of its own that is worthy of discussion. But
yeah,
no, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, this film is a product of its time and environment and politics and everything. So like you said, like it was made for that audience then. It wasn't made for us today. But yeah, just overall, it didn't. I think that this movie really did not age well. Like, I think that's like not much of a nuanced take. Things age well or don't age well all the time. Even things recently, you know, there are movies that have came out in the last 10 years that already haven't aged well, you know? But I think that's the big takeaway is like, yeah, this is of an era.
Yeah.
I think some of my bigger critiques with this are like, you know, all of that aside, all of those things aside, the Irish stereotypes, the way the women are treated, all of these things, there are still a handful of things in this that I wasn't the biggest fan of. The first 20 minutes are just him going around town and having the same conversation over and over. I'm this guy. He's just telling people over and over who he is. It's like, meet a couple of people. Oh, I'm so-and-so, so-and-so. Just repeat, add like a line or two extra info. Go to the next people. Oh, I'm so-and-so, so-and-so. Repeat, add another line or two of extra info. That was like kind of making me laugh in the moment. Like, just like, man, when is something going to happen? When are we going to stop learning who this dude is and introducing him to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
So like the pacing of that was a little rough for me. And then just kind of at the root or the heart of the film, like their relationship, I had like zero investment in it. They didn't talk for over 30 minutes. They just kind of like looked at each other from far away. And then it's like 30 minutes in that they do the whole kiss thing. And it's not for like another 10 minutes that they then start courting each other, which is the process of like them more or less going on middle school dates where you have to ask permission
to each other.
Yeah, with someone watching, and like on top of that, asking the permission of the guardian, I guess is the word, in order to take them on the date. And then it's them going on the date with someone watching over them the entire time. There's a chaperone. And that even then, that date doesn't happen until an hour into the movie after the horse race and everything. So I guess the heart of the movie being their relationship, which I don't think it's fair to really say that's what the movie is. It's the plot point that the movie is built around, but it doesn't really feel thematically what the story is built around. You know, I'm not sure what their relationship, I'm not sure their relationship did much for me other than just kind of serving as a catalyst for the events of the film. I guess you, CJ, how do you like, how does their relationship play for you? Does it land? Are there things like you see that I'm not seeing?
No, I can understand what you're saying about the pacing. I don't know. It didn't bother me at the time. So it makes it hard to, I guess, in hindsight, like, it's not that I disagree, it's that I didn't feel that way about the pace because in the moment it didn't bother me.
Okay.
And I've seen it before, and okay, like, he's at the train station, and he's getting off the train station, and then, sure, yeah, he introduces himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to McLean, and then he introduces himself again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to he goes to the pub, and they do that again,
Well, first they run into the priest on the road and they do that again.
Yes.
Then they go to then he sees some people in town and they kind of do it again. Then they go to the pub and they do it again. And then they goes to church and he talks to the father there.
So, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. It didn't bother me.
No, that's totally
so
valid.
I don't have like a overwhelming opinion about it.
That's totally valid. I guess. What about their relationship then? Like, do you have any like?
This is funny, but have you watched a lot of like the romantic comedies from this time?
I've seen a couple here and there, but not enough to be like, oh yeah, I've seen them.
So they don't have these big wind-up periods, I feel like a lot of them, and listen, the gold stars stand out, right? But for every one that's good, there's 10 that are bad. And literally, they either fall in love immediately and there's a reason they can't be together, or they hate each other the entire time. And then fall in love at the end inexplicably. So I feel like this is gonna sound silly. This movie is really not a depiction of their relationship as much as it is like, oh hey, this is like a look at like the like how do I? Because I don't know that they love each other, but then again, I don't think love was the most important facet of a marriage in 1920, which again, only 100 years ago, that's some people's grandparents or great-grandparents. I don't think I'm out of school by saying that. Like, I think that that's pretty well established that the number one reason that people get in relationships is not always love, especially the further back in time that you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it's depicting that. It does seem that they like each other, at least. They're attracted to each other. But yeah, no. This is not a roaring triumph of their affection for one another. It's just not what it is. It's different than that. It's, whatever that is. It's a I don't want to call it a cultural piece because we've been talking about how it's a bunch of negative stereotypes, but I think that's kind of where I'm landing on it. Is it just exists in this space where it's not a great romance film, but most of the romance films at the time weren't.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure I agree in that. What's the word? I'm not sure I agree in that I feel the same, but I do hear what you're saying and where you're coming from. Cause I don't know. I just wish there was more because I agree. Marriages weren't always for love. I agree that they held a different weight. They were on a different timeline. They had different customs. I guess that it doesn't really change much for me in that I'm like, yeah, there still wasn't much for me to grab onto on the relationship in general.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. It could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I disagree with that.
So one thing that I did ask in the pre-show was whether or not this was a Western.
It's not Western.
You said no, it's not.
Okay.
I have a couple counterpoints though.
Are you serious?
One, Western Hemisphere.
Okay, yep.
Two, lots of townfolk. A lot of townfolk. This Westerns often have a ensemble of townfolk. It's our main players and the town. They're almost like a chorus in a way. Right? We got people talking in a bunch of accents. Western, I would say trope. We had not just a lot of horse riding, a prolonged horse riding sequence,
Okay.
right? But the thing that for me really hammers it home is protagonist with a troubled past that in the end has a big showdown all throughout town.
Okay.
How is this not a Western?
Well, to be a Western, it has to take place in the American West. And it fails.
Does it?
Yes. It does. That is what West stands for.
So you're telling me every spaghetti Western takes place in the American West?
It is set in the West of some description. They are called
You know-
spaghetti because they are filmed in Italy.
I
but-
guess I just have a broader scope on the meaning of West.
like west of what? West of the motherland?
It's the Western Hemisphere.
That's a big hemisphere.
Yeah, a lot. There are lots of Westerns, CJ.
There are lots of Westerns. That is true. All right, John Wayne.
John Wayne. Okay, yeah, let's talk John Wayne. I want to go back to what you were talking about with that person who was like,
Yeah.
no, you don't get it. I don't like John Wayne. And I can understand having that feeling about not every actor, but certain actors. Like, for example, say like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone who's like not problematic. Like, say out of fear of naming someone and then turns out tomorrow we learn they were a horrible human. Let's just come up with a fictional actor
Chris
named I'm not sure you could pick someone more ripe for the example of what I'm
How
talking about.
about Tom Cruise?
So let's come up with an imaginary actor, Corkboard McGee. So
what about Tom Pratt?
So Tom Pratt. Tom
AKA
Pratt.
Corkboard McGee.
Corkboard McGee. Like, say someone just doesn't like Corkboard McGee and they, no real, like, maybe they just have a face about them. Maybe people just don't like them as actors. If they're like refusing to give anything a shot that they're in, or like, I will hate anything they're in, period. I'm like, okay, maybe being a little immature. John Wayne, though, as a human,
Yes.
I think has a significant cultural impact on the way many people of a certain generation behaved, viewed the world, viewed others. Very significant impact for the worse to American culture in terms of many just societal views. So
Listen.
I can understand why someone would just completely be like, no, I cannot do anything involving him, because when I see him, I see more than John Wayne the person. I see John Wayne the ideologue,
You don't even have to just stop at, I just don't like it because of the things he brought about in like an intangible way. He very tangibly was like a leading the Red Scare. Like he helped blacklist other actors. Like he did tangible damage. He was to some and to others the reason that they lost their livelihoods. He is a genuine piece of shit. He is arguably one of the worst actors that we have as much documentation on as possible. And I believe I've said this before, but if I have not, or if it's been a while, let me reiterate. I grew up with John Wayne, the actor, because my dad was a John Wayne guy, and you can take that for everything that it's worth in gold. But I like these films because I grew up with them, not because I think John Wayne is A, a good person, or B, a great actor, right? So that's where I'm coming from
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah. So you
yes.
hear that, audience? Don't go taking CJ out of pocket saying,
Yay.
love
Yeah.
John Wayne. So, all of those things, and the way they pair with this film, it's a bit souring seeing John Wayne toss a woman about the country of Ireland and be handed a branch to hit her with.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of things, kind of what I was talking about, like his character, like John Wayne is good in giving a subdued performance here. He's very restrained. He's very believable in the role, but he's like almost passive in the plot to me in a way. Because he arrives, he's like, okay, I want to date her. She wants to date him. And dating in this universe is getting married, so they do that. And then
they get married.
Yeah. And
no
then
patty fingers.
They want the money, so he fights for it.
She wants the money and he wants her, so he fights her brother.
Yes. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, the bone itself is good. The bone being his subdued performance of this character. He never was distracting. He was effective for what was required of him. Some scenes, like there are scenes that I do like in this movie. I want to say, like, there are scenes I do like. There are moments I like. There's a lot of charm to this movie, but there's no meat on the bone, at least in terms of his character, because I think that there could be, and there's set up for, but again, his character boils down to, I'm this troubled man with the past, and what's my big moment in this? It's getting over my trauma and my aversion from fighting due to accidentally taking someone's life and fighting my brother-in-law, and it's a big hoot and holler and a half. It just feels very conflicting for this portrait of this character that's been constructed throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's, I guess I already made that point, but it's all to bring back to, like, I want to say John Wayne is good in this role, but I don't think it's a very good role.
Okay. So, couple things you touched on, I want to kind of address. So there is another John Wayne movie. It's called McClinic, and it is a comedy western, and it has a bunch of funny characters, and they do funny things, and it has a bunch of very colorful townspeople, and John Wayne gets to be the hard, tough guy, but also whatever. And in that movie, his wife is Maureen O'Hara. And in that movie, he does beat her with a coal shovel. And that movie came out like 15 years later. And it's funny. It's played for a laugh. Okay, I don't think that scene is particularly funny, but I'm saying it's meant to be played for a laugh.
Right.
Okay. He spanks her with a coal shovel. His daughter, he encourages the person who's going to be dating his daughter to spank her with something as well. And played by his actual real life son. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay. The whole town wants him to beat her the whole movie. And then he actually does. And then he's like, you're not going to get divorced from me anymore. Like, she was trying to divorce him the whole movie, and he beat her, and then she said no. So, all that having been said, this is far from the worst. Yes, he dragged her across the country, but, like, there's been worse, right? I'm not excusing it, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot going on. I would say his 5 best roles are The Searchers, True Grit, which he won the Oscar for, which is really a Lifetime Achievement Award. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which you said you've seen. I would say Stagecoach, which is 1939, and The Shootist, which was 1976. Okay? Which was his final role. So Stagecoach was like his first big role, and The Shootist was his like last role. So, all that having been said, that's 5 in a filmography of like 100. The rest of the time, he plays the same fucking guy, you know? And he has no depth. And this doesn't feel complex. Like, Red River's one of my favorites. He kind of plays a complex character, but, I don't know. Doesn't really come across. So, like, it stands out more when you have more to compare it to, I would say. And again, I think you've only ever seen examples of him where he's actually a good performer.
So I do want to say I have seen other things. John, I haven't sat down and watched other John Wayne films, but like my grandpa is a huge John Wayne dude.
Sure.
And I've been over at his house a million times with John Wayne movies playing. So I have seen the full breadth of what John Wayne is capable of.
Yes. But I'm saying, like, I've seen all the movies credits to credits, right? Like, start card to end card. And, like, this is one of his better performances. The character itself, yeah, I can see that. I can see that the character, there's not much there for him. But I think the restraint here is actually the accomplishment, right? Like, as opposed to, like, The Searchers where he just won't shut the fuck up. You know, he has a bunch of memorable lines in that movie. Does he have any memorable lines in this movie?
You know, gonna be honest, I honestly can't remember like a single line of his.
Yeah.
Other than that time he goes, "Hey, Pilgrim."
Yeah, exactly. Pilgrims. He landed at Plymouth Rock. Hey, Pilgrim. Why'd you hit the rock, Pilgrim? But really, that's all I have to say about John Wayne. Is I just think that the restraint in the performance is the hallmark of the performance. The only thing else I really want to talk to you about is the cinematography, which did win Best
I would love to talk
Cinematography
about that.
in 1952. I did want to see what it beat out. 1952. Okay, so fun fact: they had a different category for black and white and color at this time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for Best Cinematography, The Quiet Man won. It beat Hans Christian Andersen.
The guy
Ivan-
who wrote The Little Mermaid?
Is that who wrote The Little Mermaid?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
The 19th century Danish author. Yes. Starring
This
Danny
movie
Kaye.
beat him?
No, he beat it.
Oh, wait.
He won the award.
Hans Christian Andersen beat up The Quiet Man.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn.
There's a movie called Ivanhoe, starring Elizabeth Taylor. $1 Million Mermaid. And The Snows of Kilimanjaro with Gregory Peck. Okay. Well, none of that is really a... None of that feels like an accomplishment, to be honest.
Well, I guess what did you have to say about the cinematography then? Let's talk a little bit about it specifically rather than what it was surrounded by.
I've said that this movie is beautiful. And the lush countryside, like... Winton Hawk also, by the way, did The Searchers. In 1956. And I said that the one of the characters in that film is the background, right? Like, it is the environment. one of the things that is also really interesting is that this is the only cinematography award given to 2 people. Because the other person credited with this award is a guy named Archie Stout, who was the second unit cinematographer.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh. It was super cloudy while they were filming that whole thing, which I've met many wedding photographers, and they always tell their brides to pray for rain, because if you have cloudy days on your wedding day, you're going to have beautiful photos.
Yeah. Yeah, cloudy days photograph phenomenally.
Yes. Yeah, because they diffuse the sun, right? It's like having it's like...
Yeah. Clouds are a natural softbox.
Yep, exactly. So, I always go back to, like, Citizen Kane, when people are like, yeah, I just don't get Citizen Kane, like, whatever, blah, blah, I don't get the hype. And I'm like, well, the cinematographer was credited before the director.
Mm-hmm.
I think that movie could be seen today with some of the camera techniques.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's a good way to contextualize older films and the cinematography of them is, does this look visually, ignore, any image quality things, ignore the actual contents of the film. Does it just look like it could be released today? Because movies even like 1970 just kind of looked different and were filmed differently. And the way, that alone, I think, I guess to talk about this movie, like, it looks really good. Not once did I find any of the shots distracting. And there were several points where I was like, that's a great shot. Like, there's some really great visual moments in here. Some really, really superb composition. There's one shot alone. It's like, I pulled it up. It's 9 minutes, 56 seconds into the film. It's when he and her are first seeing each other and she's herding the sheep. And there's just this shot of him standing amongst these trees, and it's like his silhouette. And it looks like it could be a desktop background. Like, it's just an incredible image. And, I think that it's not like this movie. I personally didn't find this film to be littered with, incredible shots, but there are really good moments moments where the camera is used really well. And again, it wasn't ever distracting in that I felt I was watching something from 1952.
I think that that's really the biggest mark, is it feels like that part has aged pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You always get it whenever they do stage shots. If they're ever on a soundstage, you can just tell, like, with the painted sets and everything, if they ever do that. Like, the one scene in The Searchers where they use a painted set is like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where they shoot Mr. Futterman.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, that kind of takes you out of it, because it's like, whatever. But, no, I think for the most part, it does feel like that has aged really well. And I think that the Donnybrook was filmed really well. And in what is really hard to film, and not like you get a bunch of takes out of it. I'm sure that they had a lot of work going on, but you have to organize all those people.
Yeah.
And if you accidentally, like, twist an ankle or punch John Wayne in the face, like, you accidentally hit him, or you hit the stunt guy, like, okay, well,
you just lost your career.
Yeah. Or, we're gonna leave you in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna leave you in Innisfree.
I do want to just kind of hammer home a point you made, like the nature, like just the hills of Ireland, the color, it photographs so well in this, like, just beautiful countryside in this movie. Absolutely beautiful. It looks phenomenal on film here.
This film could not be in black and white.
Oh,
this movie doesn't work in black and white at all. It has to be Technicolor. That green is a character. Everything is green. He paints his fucking house green.
And a moment that I talked about earlier as well that comes back to cinematography is his dream or whatever, his flashback to when he killed the man in the ring. It's very brief. It's like 30 seconds. But like there's this haze about it, and he and other people are like looking directly into the camera. And I know that's not just like, that's more directing than cinematography, but really fantastic sequence. Like it feels ripped out of a different movie in a good way, you know, and not in a way where I'm like, I want to see that movie. I feel like, no, this movie did that moment really, really, really well.
Yeah, no, it felt floaty. It felt ethereal. Like it kind of felt very, I don't want to say bouncy. It felt, you said Raging Bull. If you told me Marty Scorsese saw this movie and wanted to take some inspiration from that, I wouldn't doubt you.
100%. I'm with you there.
But yeah, no, it's I think dollar for donuts, and like, listen, we talked about some of the other movies that came out in 1952. We talk about some of the other movies that come out, like Singing in the Rain is all filled in like small rooms and stages. Great film, you know, but you can tell that it's a little older, you know, like it looks that way. It has a style to it. It feels like golden age of Hollywood type shit, you know? And this has more of a something else vibe to it. I don't know. But anyway, do you have anything else you want to talk about the movie?
Just one thing we've not talked about that I gotta bring up. Never ever take anyone who has just like a disgust for spitting to Innisfree, because the fucking denizens of this town are spitting on their hands to shake over everything. And you might think I am exaggerating that this happens once or twice. CJ, back me up here. This had to have happened at least half a dozen times. Someone spits into their hand to shake someone else's hand.
Oh yeah.
Everyone does this.
Oh yeah.
Everyone.
They're blood brothers now. they shook each other's hands. They spit. That seals it.
Yeah, and even Margaret O'Hara, is her first name Margaret?
Maureen
O'Hara. Even her, like spitting on her hands to shake with people. I'm like, what are the people in this town doing? Right. They would not have survived 2020.
No, thank God they were born 100 years earlier.
So I had to bring up that. And just a quick question. So the whole horsey race.
Okay.
So Maureen O'Hara puts up her bonnet, right?
Yep.
So just operate under the hypothetical with me. How does the movie play out if when John Wayne wins the race, rather than taking the bonnet he does, he takes Maureen O'Hara's bonnet?
I think it doesn't support the lie that he's telling, which is the lie that the townsfolk are trying to get across, which is that he's moved on from the sister and that he wants to date Tulane because, like, he only wants Tulane for her money at the time. So, or like whatever, get access to her fortune. He's already rich.
So it's doing.
Like, go ahead.
If he takes her bonnet, we are likely in a situation where her brother is still like, no, just no.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the whole point.
Okay, because I guess in the moment, and I understand all of that. In the moment, I kind of felt as though he didn't take her bonnet, kind of not as part of a plan, but more out of spite. Maybe that was just the way I was reading into it. But I in the moment, I just made a note like, so what, like, could that have just solved things much sooner if he did take her bonnet there? Like, I feel like you could still get away with the lie of, hey, dude, get your sister out of the house, let him marry her, because then, like, I guess, why do you need Red to think John Wayne is courting the widow for him to then okay it? Or, you know, I
think he also needed Mickalene to make it happen, and Mickalene said he could make it happen, but he couldn't do it while she was still in the house, and then this was like the final straw. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to help you through it.
Yeah, I guess that part just doesn't really sit in my brain in any cozy spot. Anyway, I guess the next thing I guess before we move on, any favorite scenes or performances in this?
Oh, Barry Fitzgerald.
Is that Mickalene?
Yes.
Yeah, Mickalene was great.
The guy that they got to play Red Donaher was great too. Because it doesn't work if he's not bigger and burlier than John Wayne, right? Like, I don't know. And I also liked his little wimpy sidekick.
Oh, was he like a younger brother or something?
No.
Who? Oh, wait, then who was he?
He was just his like fucking. He was just his dude. He was just his hype man.
I thought, okay, then who are the 9 fucking guys in their house at the, like, near the start of the film?
Friends or whatever.
I thought that they were all brothers. I thought they were all, like, younger brothers.
Nope. They worked for him or whatever.
Oh. Huh. Do these guys not have families? Why are they just, like, always around?
I mean, there's not a lot to do there. We saw the only thing to do besides go into each other's houses was to fucking go to the pub.
Yeah, and I guess do a big old horsey race.
The annual horsey race, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Mickalene, he steals the show for me in many scenes. And then just favorite scenes, the boxing scene, really, really like that. That was just really, really well done. I think those are like the standouts really for me.
Yeah.
But all right. Why don't we get to some really important questions though? Like, CJ,
sure.
Could you have done The Quiet Man? Well, it depends. Who am I? So you are John Wayne, and you've got to beat up Red. You got to beat him up.
I'm gonna say I can't do it, but not for the reason that you're thinking, because I'm not going to drag my wife across the country.
Okay, no, because not misogynist, I see.
Not a woman beater, no. But I could totally fight Red Will Danaher for sure.
Okay. So you could do it, but you wouldn't because you're not that type of person.
I won't, yeah.
Wow. Gotcha. Well, I just jotted down in Taminio's book, no, because not a woman beater.
All right. Tommy.
Yeah.
Is the film Okie Dokie?
I feel like I have said this for like a billion films so far. I think this is the hardest one for me yet in terms of saying whether or not it is Okie Dokie.
I will let the audience grow in suspense while you think.
Genuinely, it's hard to say. I do feel as though this movie has some sort of X factor though, where taking into consideration everything we've talked about, in addition to like what I talked about with like the era it came out, and this came out 7 years after the end of World War II, it has some sort of X factor that makes it greater than the sum of its parts. So I think this is again, real one side of the fence or other, probably depends on the given day. I think today, in this very moment, I am landing on the side of the fence that says yes.
Wow.
This film is Okie Dokie.
All right. I have no memory of what I said, if you would say it was okie dokie or not, but I am surprised. I'm going to say it's okie dokie as well. I think it's worth seeing. I in general, I don't think that any of the reasons outlined are reasons not to see it. Make your own opinion on it, you know? I think I had a great time watching it with you.
Wow, that me too. I have a great time watching every movie with you.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like the last few that we've done have been pretty fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very, very fun. Well, we're going to find out real soon what we're watching next time. But before we can do that, we have to walk down the hall into the next room over, leaving our post-show room and going from our post-show room to our could CJ have done it room to our is the film okie dokie room. We're now in the rec room.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So CJ, what have you got to rec today?
Okay, again, I don't remember if I wrecked these before, but I'm going to wreck them now.
I'll let you know if you had.
I have been laid up post-surgery, and recovery has been very, very difficult. So I have been reliant on watching TV. I know that I've recommended Star Trek Strange New World, so I won't recommend that.
So real quick, you actually have not actually recommended Star Trek Strange New World. You just talked about it a lot.
Oh, got it. So I will recommend that. I really love Star Trek. I think we've talked about Star Trek a little bit lately, but Star Trek just is so much fun, and it just scratches such an itch for me, and I'm really enjoying the season that's coming out. A new episode came out last week. I haven't seen it yet because I've been busy with STAT. But it is about the crew of the Enterprise before Captain Kirk takes over. It is the captain before Kirk, which was Chris Pike, who was the captain in the pilot of the original series. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. It's on Paramount Plus. Really fun. I'm going to also recommend Only Murders in the Building, which is Martin Sheen. No, damn it. Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. And it is about these three neighbors that live in the same building. And they are true crime podcast fans who become true crime podcasters when a murder is committed in their building. And then they become investigators looking into these crimes. And then there are 5 seasons. I believe by the time this comes out, the 5th season will have just released. It comes out on the 9th of September. And so that is 5 seasons of the show. It is really good. It's really funny. And the mysteries are really good as well. It has a style to it that's really nice. And I highly recommend it. And that is going to be it for me for this week. Just 2.
Very nice. I have just 2 things to rec as well. The first thing I'm going to rec is a show that I've been slowly making my way through, and I've been meaning to hold off on recommending it until I finally finish, get fully caught up, I should say, because there's only 2 seasons out. But I've just been really slowing down in watching it and haven't been able to blow through it because of how busy we've been. But I wanted to recommend the show Poker Face. CJ,
Okay.
are you familiar with this show at all?
No, I think you've talked about it, but I've never seen or heard of it.
Okay, so this is a show that's created and show ran by Rian Johnson, who made Knives Out. It's straight up a Columbo type show. You see the episode starts and it's about like the 10-15 minutes of you see a crime being committed or some wrongdoing being had, and then the rest of the episode follows our protagonist Charlie Cale, played by Natasha Lyonne. And she's more or less a drifter traveling the country solving these solving these, I guess cases is the word for them. But her gimmick is that she has an a preternatural ability of being able to tell whenever someone is lying. She just, if someone says something that isn't the truth, she can just tell. She says bullshit. She just knows. So it's it's like a serialized episodic show where there's like kind of an overarching narrative, but it's just week to week her going around solving different people's problems in different towns. So if you like shows like Columbo or Monk, definitely check out Poker Face. It's like a modern telling of that type of genre. Really, really enjoyable. It's fun. It's a fun type of show to, like, you watch along and you try and figure out how she's going to piece things together. It's trying to figure out how they catch them rather than, rather than who did it and stuff, since you see it happen. Really fun. So again, that's Poker Face. And the second thing I wanted to recommend is an album. I recently started checking out this artist. His name is Christone Kingfish Ingram. And the album that I'm recommending is his debut album that released back in 2019 called Kingfish. He is a blues artist. He's guitarist and singer, and he's only, like, as of recording this, he's only 26 years old, and already has multiple blues albums recorded. And he has like a very old, like, Delta blues sound. Really, really great stuff. Just sounds like a classic blues musician despite being so young. So if you like the blues, give Kingfish a listen. He also goes by Kingfish, so give Kingfish by Kingfish a listen. It's a good time. It's a good time if you like the blues. So again, recommendations. I recommend Poker Face, and I also recommended the album Kingfish by Christone Kingfish Ingram. CJ, your recommendations were
Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Only Murders in the Building.
Awesome. Well, let's get up from our couch in the rec room and walk on over to the next room. There we go. Okay. And here we are at the next time on Podium. Now, CJ, last time you gave me an option. Okay. You gave me 3 options. So I was like, you know what? I'm not one to typically do this, but I'll return the favor.
Okay.
I've got 3 films here to choose from.
Sure.
And here are your options. Do you want to go the route of The Quiet Man being part 1 of our duology on Americans traveling internationally?
Okay.
Heroes played by problematic assholes? Or protagonists overcoming their distaste for violence?
I'm going to go with protagonists overcoming their distaste for violence. But before you tell me what I did pick, can you tell me what I could have picked?
Part of me doesn't want to, because one of those 2 probably going to be within my next 2 or 3 picks.
Okay, no problem.
So, CJ, I don't know if you know this, but The Quiet Man is actually part 1 of our duology on protagonists overcoming their distaste for violence.
If I didn't just pick it, I wouldn't have known that.
Because next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching The Rundown.
What is The Rundown?
The Rundown is a 2003 film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Sean William Scott.
What the fuck? I've never heard of this movie.
All right. Well, we will talk more about it next time on The Film is Okie Dokie.
All right. Thank you to everyone for listening. If you like this podcast, give us 5. Remember to rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. Shout out to Bomani Jones at Wave Sports and Entertainment for the quip. And as always, I have been CJ.
Real quick, just to interject the things I always say, join our Discord server. It's in the description. Also, please remember to go and do the Vulture Movie Fantasy League. Sign up. You have until September 25th.
Yes, get those in.
Get them in. And
Yeah,
I've been Tommy.
All right, and we're out.